we're joined by Brigadier Vinod Datta, who's a defense expert, and a Lieutenant General retired Ashok Mehta, who's also a defense expert, who's joining us to weigh in on the situation. Gentlemen, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's get started. General, I'll come to you first. The whole world knows what started India's retaliation, a full-blown terror attack on civilians. Now, there have been several attempts towards disseminating misinformation on how India is the aggressor, but really the whole world knows that Pakistan is a rogue state that funds and harbor terrorist groups. Now, despite that, it goes. The IMF goes ahead and sanctions an additional package for the country, knowing exactly how these funds are going to be used. What is your sense of this latest development of IMF issuing additional fund to Pakistan?
As far as financial aid is concerned by world organizations like the World Bank or the IMF or in Europe, the aspect of financial aid is completely disassociated from the country's attempts or involvement in subversive activities like terrorism. I think World Bank Chief Ashok Banga did explain this aspect quite clearly. So I think we should not link the IMF loans, and this is not the first time, I think this is the 26th time the IMF has proffered a loan to Pakistan, despite it having been on the grey list on the FATF or on some of its individuals being on the UN wanted terrorist list or on the US terrorist list. I don't think that is a factor that directly impacts on what the IMF or the World Bank will do. So I think we should not get ourselves involved with that. The focus right now should be on the undeclared or the warlike situation that India and Pakistan have never faced, because I've seen the wars since 1957, and there is no war that we have not been involved in. This is the first, as your correspondent said, high technology war, which is called the standoff war. Neither side has declared war. Neither side has crossed the line of control or the international border. Both sides have used high-tech weapons like drones, loiter ammunition, missiles, and aircraft. But from their side of the international border, which does not, I repeat, which does not lower the legitimacy or illegitimacy of these attacks. So we must see this in perspective. And right now, it is an evolving situation where the burden of de-escalation, is on Pakistan. This morning, Pakistan launched its counter-offensive. So therefore, we have to see how far this goes. My own judgment is that in the next 48 to 72 hours, there will be some intervention by the United States, and we may see a ceasefire.
Here's hoping for that, General. But let me come to you, Brigadier Datta. The one thing that a country really requires to go on war is funds, and Pakistan is living off borrowed funds. Now, amid serious economic crisis, Can they really afford this war? And now, General had a different take on the IMF funding, but what is the guarantee that these funds will not be used to fund the war?
Well, you're right. I agree with you that whatever funds which have been taken, and General was right that it is the 26th bailout which has been given by IMF, and during Imran Khan's time, at least 22 times they were given this financial succor. Now, there have been instances where the funds which were coming ex-US or through IMF or through World Bank, they were either misspent or misappropriated. And even the locals now have come to know that the Pakistan army indulges in a lot of money swindling, embezzlement, and siphoning out these funds. So the various agencies have reduced, like America itself has reduced its aid to Pakistan to a great extent. Secondly, now the financial condition of Pakistan is so fragile that they will not be able to sustain any kind of war. Leave aside war, even this buildup which they have done is going to cost them a very big fortune. So what they have to understand is that it is in their interest that they should de-escalate and patch up with India. But India is well prepared. India has not been trying to up the ante because India has capability. There is a Chicago report which says that within 3-4 days, if India uses all its might, it can wind up Pakistan. But we want a stable Pakistan. We want a Pakistan which should mend their ways and de-link themselves from the terrorism, because our fight is towards terrorism and not towards Pakistan. We have not been indulging in any civilian targets, whereas if you see, Pakistan has been indulging in engaging the civilian targets. Thirdly, the mission reliability of these forces is a big question mark. So all these factors, you have seen, how the various systems are not working, how the aircrafts have crashed, how the aircrafts are not battle worthy, how some of the aircrafts are AOG. So all these things, when you are put on a matrix, you will realize that it is Pakistan who's going to lose very heavily, and India is still it is not up the ante because it will lead into a full-fledged war, though it is a warlike situation.